Traders Brian here with A Plus Setups, and it is Monday, July 13th, 2026. And in this video, I'm going to introduce you to the A Plus Setups timing windows. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, before we talk about the timing windows, let me just talk about how we started, where we're at, and where we're going. So when I started building the scalping program, I started with the how category. And the how category is our setups. So 3+ years of categorizing pullback setups for the NQ futures, and this is what we end up with is our flagship model. We have 4 separate pullbacks that range between shallow, deep, deeper, and the deepest pullbacks inside of the NASDAQ. So this tells us how to get into a trade. Setups are just simply that. They're just setups. But you can see our software, that's what's generating the arrows, the diamonds. You see arrows, dots here, diamonds, arrows, dots. That's our flagship model, triggering all those. But you don't want to take all those. You have to put them in context. So we've done a really good job of identifying, categorizing, and coding these setups. They're black and white, ready to use. They all have signal plots. They're very compatible with your software that can do your order entries, your automation, semi-automation like Predator X order entry, and Markers Plus. So it's suitable for that. But setups are just setups, and I can't overemphasize that enough. You have to know when to employ your setups. It doesn't matter if we're scalping or if we're swing trading. You have to know. If you have the how, you need to know when. So the emphasis for me going forward in our program is to work on these 2 areas here, the reason and the when. The reason is simply the bias. It tells us when we are in a bullish or bearish environment. And for the intraday spectrum, we built a tool that tries to stay with these trends, these big trends, big sweeping trends in the NASDAQ. So the triple focus does that for us. So this is one area, one layer that we are going to intentionally try to improve, as we move forward. So, but this does a very, very good job right now of identifying the environment in the intraday spectrum. It gives us the reason or bias, the reason to be looking, leaning long or leaning short. The next thing we need to have is we need to know when to look for a setup. So we've developed some timing, what we're calling timing windows. And these timing windows just tell us when to look for the setup. So you combine the reason with the when, and then you let the how take care of everything. The how is the setups, and then we have statistical profiles on our setups, so we know how to build the ATM to take advantage of this. So this is the A Plus Setups framework. I don't think we will ever change our setups going forward. My swing trading setups haven't changed in 15 years. But all of my work goes into the environment, and that's where the reason lies. It's the macro structure. The how or the setups is the micro structure. The when is simply the timing. So now that I've got that long-winded explanation out of there, where we've come from, building the program, where we are, we're introducing these timing windows, and where we're going. We're going to be improving these 2 layers here, reason and when, moving forward. Our intent is to try to build the best automation model that is within our scope and our capabilities. Now, I'm an older guy. It doesn't mean I'm going to trade automation. I trade manually. But there's really good tools out there to help you trade with automation, if that's what you so desire. Semi-automation, automation, that's for you to decide. So, I tell our community that I may never ever trade with automation, but that doesn't mean that I can't work toward building something for automation, because that endeavor in and of itself, kind of you gain efficiencies, you make the program leaner, so forth and so on. So anyway, that's where we're at. Let's get down to what you're really here for. So again, I've introduced you to the triple focus, which defines the environment, paints the background green or red. And then our timing window, this is the Omega. This is the first one we released. And our best 2 timing windows are in development. So they won't be released until August and, maybe the end of July and August for those 2. Now, why do I say that those 2 are better? Well, we have statistical profiles on the timing windows, and our subscribers have access to those profiles as well. I can't cover those in this public forum here, but they're available for our subscribers. So let's take a look at the Omega. It does a really good job of telling you when to look for a setup. So let's just walk through a few. This is today's market from the open. First thing we get is triple focus paints the background green. We have a green panel telling us, hey, a potential bullish window opening up. The white area here opens up. It tells us the window is open. Look for a setup. And our software does the rest right here. Here we have a shallow pullback jiggle and a 108 EMA pullback that triggers right there. Now we flip to a bearish. The timing window zone turns red, tells us we're in the zone for a potential bearish window, and then we get the window right here. Now these timing windows are corroborative price action from multiple aggregation periods that we've combined into one model for these. This is a 36.6 Ninzarenko chart. We've run these on gold, ES, crude. It works. Even works really well on a 1-minute chart. So the timing windows. All right, so here's one, and then we have a 108 EMA signal, fires on that for a nice scalp if you were able to take advantage of that. Oops, didn't mean to move that. Let's just move across. I just want to show you some examples. Again, you only get one timing window in what I call a segment, and then you get a reset. Here you see green, so there's no timing window here. You need to, if you're in a bearish zone, you want to see red that preceding the white. No go right there. But we do get the reset, and we get red, and here's another timing window. So there you go. Now we're in the red zone. You're like, wait a minute. It looks like you bought right there. Exited. Yeah, I did. This was the first trade I took today in this account. And I was waiting for the divergence trade. So there was a triple focus divergence trade. It's another aspect of timing windows, and I opted to go for that. That was the first trade I took all day today, was this trade, and we got a good scalp on it. All right, but let's just keep moving. So here we go. We're still in the red. We get a reset right here. This doesn't count. There's no red preceding it. And we get red, so be on the lookout. We're in a red environment, and here we get the setup. Software triggers, and we take the jiggle, which is shallow pullback, or the 108 trade. So both of those fired on that signal there. Now, I forgot to mention back here, you can't see it very well, but there's a diamond there. That's a jiggle, a shallow pullback, and we survived the stop loss and took profits up here. All right, I'm just going to show one more, which, the first 17 minutes. So we already had, in this 17-minute span here was This did not count because we are in a bearish zone. This did not count. We're in a bearish zone. Here we get back again, and you get your first losing trade. I want to show everything here. So you get your first losing setup. You're in the red zone. You get the reset. You get fired up, take the trade, and you miss the first take profit by maybe a tick or two in reality. So most anybody trading this in a scalping would have been stopped out on this run up right here, but that's just the way it is. That's trading. So that is the timing windows. Let's move forward and check one more. Yeah, here we go. 45 minutes in. So here's a run up. We get a green background, green on the panel, white. It says look for the setup, and there we get it right there. So again, to summarize this, it's about the timing windows. And the timing windows just tell us when to look for a setup. It's a combination of things that are happening on multiple aggregation periods that converge and come together at the same time. And we've captured all that and rolled that into this Ninja chart, which works on it's been working on crude, gold, ES. I haven't looked at it on other markets, but it's also I've looked at it quite a bit. I look at it every day on a 1 minute chart of the NQ futures, because that's primarily what we trade. All right, this has probably gone a little bit longer than I anticipated, but hey, I wanted to introduce the timing windows. I want to let you know that the Omega is first out of the gate, but the best two are coming. Anyway, if I can be of any help in your trading, make sure you let me know. Drop me a line. As always, good luck in your trading. And if you're not in the community, A+ Setups community, hey, we hope to see you in the room. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video.